Is it gonna be one video? Ah, don't do that. Let it be one video.
Then
Everybody complains.
my phrase, when I reveal myself to God, God will reveal himself to me.
Absolutely.
What you're saying. I mean,
Yeah, absolutely. But the fact is that we change. We absolutely change. Otherwise, why would people come here if they can't change? So, all right. Yes. Yeah.
Over the three, they get together and they go around and, for my own, they make. Let me get out, oh, termite, you know. Oh, big man. See, like, this small.
Hey.
All right, Mike. So, what I was talking about earlier, what I was talking about is what seems to be objectionable to us. When we see things that are objectionable, we need to change them. Okay, and that's what recovery is about. Kind of like when I talked about when I was getting too fat. That was objectionable to me. I needed to change that. Right. So we can always remove any objectionable idea from our minds by overriding it with a better idea. But there's action involved with it. We have to work at this stuff. It doesn't just come to us. So when we're talking about change, we're talking about our thinking, our attitude, our behavior. And I want to tell you this, you might want to write this down. Steps 1, 2, and 3 allow me to survive my feelings. Survive my feelings. 1, 2, and 3 allow me to survive my feelings. 4 and 5 show me how I think.
Show me.
I
I
think.
think.
That may be the case too. 4 and 5 show me how I think. 6 is the attitude that thinking produces. Say it again. 6 is the attitude that thinking produces. So 1, 2, 3 survive my feelings. 4 and 5 show me how I think. 6 is the attitude that thinking produces. And 7 is the behaviors of that attitude. So whatever you practice, you become good at. Whether it's baseball, basketball, piano, whatever it is. This is the way we own our defects. We've accumulated them through years and years of practice. We have drilled them into our personalities and they've become patterns in our lives. So we got to use the same process to change these patterns. When we were drinking this whole time, when we spent our lives drinking and using, we were trying to fill our emptiness with all the wrong things. And all of those things are expressions of people who don't have any principles to live by. That's why I said it was so important to inventory principles in your fourth step. All of these compulsions are just symptoms of the problem. They're not the problem. And don't forget that the steps do not address symptoms. Anybody got any questions on any of this here? Next week, we'll talk a little bit more about 7 and then we'll move on. Yes. Do I have any character defects? Yes, I have
Yes.
all my defects of character. I just don't use I don't use them on a regular basis. Well, I don't think they go anywhere, I think they're there. And as we get sober and learn, we have different things that we can choose to use rather than those defects. Uh, I always joke around because, the joke is that character defects are like your in-laws. You can't stop them from coming over. Just don't let them unpack their bags, So, so the idea though, yeah, I mean, I've had defects that I thought were gone for a long time, and then something happened, and then boom, they're right there, So, we're not talking cured here. We're not talking cured.
St. Francis prayer, I feel like is a good for me when I'm having issues with like character defects. Just reading like the St. Francis prayer
Yeah, that's a good one.
gives me a
Yep.
oh, there's that action I need to take.
Yeah. But yes, Dana, defects are. We just learn different things to use rather than the old ways, But that shit comes right back, I mean, again, we're not talking cured.
Or question. When I did my this my sponsor was able, because it was pretty thorough, this stuff, the sponsor was able to pick out prints in my personal inventory that I hadn't seen. And with 7, moving my shortcomings, those tendencies might still be there, but I'm able to step out of that pattern, sort of see it coming, and I can step out of that pattern and do something totally different.
Absolutely.
And that, for me, is change. I can see change in me, because I can step out of the pattern that I was so in, I couldn't even see it. And now I can see it and make it.
Yeah, that's what we've been talking about this whole hour, really, is, it's how we don't see how we're stuck in something, and we don't let go of things. So yeah, you're absolutely right. Yeah, that's how that works, and you can see the growth. That's why that mantra we learned last week in the fourth step, about resentment and fear, that stuff helps us because it stops us from, going there.
Rare.
Yeah, absolutely. But that's a good point. Who else? Anybody else got a question? Donna?
It's got to give me awareness. And so, if the only place that I can trust it is God's. And that comes in all sorts of compassion. And in 12 steps, there's truth, and there's so much God's truth is, where we can, aspire, but we'll never, because only God's truth is God's truth. And we just learn from that, or it's inside of us, but it's not us. It's not, we aren't the creator of that. That is, am I doing too?
No, no, you're good.
We're-
Joe?
No idea what you said.
That if you're not something by now, Bill is going to be the bad.
No, that was after the second step.
Oh.
Yeah, I'll read it for you. It was right after the ABCs of how it works. In the original manuscript, it says, after the ABCs, it says, so ABC, A is step 1, B is step 2, C is step 2. Then it said, if you are not convinced on these vital issues, you ought to reread the book to this point or else throw it away! Exclamation point. So what Bill was telling us was don't go ahead and go on to the third step if you haven't got the foundation of 1 and 2 down. Yeah, that's an important message for us. Because most people just skip through these steps right up to they start on a 4th step, really. So, all right, anybody else? Yes, we got time.
Say,
Right here. YouTube, go to YouTube, go put that channel in, and then there'll be, after tonight, there'll be 16 videos. 16 weeks. What week did we what? Oh, the beginning. Beginning.
You can literally Google it. Yeah.
Oh, yeah?
Right.
Oh, cool. Yeah. All right. Anybody else got a question?
All this doesn't really, don't keep practicing.
Absolutely. Yeah. You got it? Oh, that's the, oh, very good. Yeah. You didn't buy one for everybody? Oh, okay. All right. Anybody else? All right, guys, next week. Thank you. So now I got to load 2 videos?